Here's another home improvement tip from Tod and Todd.
So Todd, how much does it cost to replace a window?
Excellent question. This is the question we get most often from homeowners when they're starting a home improvement project. They want to know how much money does it cost.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, thing is, in order to determine the cost, there are a lot of different ways that you configure a window project. So the first step really is to have an expert come out and help you figure out what your priorities are.
Okay, and the purpose of that, talk about these priorities. Give me an example. What are we going to talk about?
Well, here, let's suppose that you have a home and you're planning to move within a couple of years.
Okay.
You might not want to put in the top grade window in that case. Let's say you're going to stay in the home for a long period of time and you have high heating bills, and you really want to maximize the energy efficiency of what you're going to get out of it. So your priorities are going to be quite different.
Right.
So what you want to do is discuss that with an expert, and so come up with an idea of a way to configure that glass pack or an installation type in order to meet your goals and also your price objectives.
Are there really that many options? I mean, let's talk about that a little bit.
I don't know if you realize this, but just in one window, there are over 50,000 different combinations to choose from in order to figure out what's the best thing for you to do. And that's, that's what an expert really has to help you define, so that it makes it easier for you to figure out what the best solution is for you in your particular situation.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this home, for example. Right now what we have, Todd, is we have a picture window over the top of an awning window, which cranks out like the one on the left.
Right.
Okay, so we have two sets of those in this opening. And when we talk about options and these priorities that customers have, in this window alone, we could have put two double hung windows, which are split in half and slide up and down, a very common window. We could have put in two casement windows, right? We could have gone ahead and just stayed with the same window system we had now.
Right.
They may have decided to go with different colors on the outside or inside, and tell us, what did this homeowner end up doing and why?
Well, interesting. They decided one of the objectives here was to maximize the ventilation.
Okay.
Okay, so that immediately called for a style change. So instead of doing 4 windows with 2 fixed ones, we're going to remove those 4 windows and turn it into one frame of a window with 2 panels that slide.
Okay.
That's going to maximize the glass area and maximize the screen area to give the most amount of ventilation. That was step 1.
Okay.
Then the next priority that was chosen here was to maximize the energy efficiency in the glass. All right, so they wanted to get something that would hold the heat in better, so we chose a triple glazed glass pack called KR90, which is very efficient.
Okay.
So these are some of the choices. The other was to configure the type of installation. Maybe you can explain a little bit better than I can on that.
Sure, I will, Todd. And actually before that too, one of the things, in addition to the air that they were going to get into the home and the energy efficiency, one of the things that they were really concerned about was to save as much on this project as they could. And with the style change, we were able to do that. That style change was to take these 4 windows out and put a sliding window in, which is an economical style change.
That's right.
Okay, and with that savings, what we found they were able to do then is choose that very unique window installation technique that we're able to offer today, which is to take out the existing frame, the large sill on the bottom, as well as the jambs on the sides and the top, and actually go back to rough opening. By going back to the rough opening, Todd, that was able to get us more space, right? Which gave them a better view and that ventilation that they wanted, still within an energy efficient package. And then what did they do with the savings that we were able to offer? Let's talk a little bit about how much money we saved them too.
Well, I know that I did a calculation on this particular window, and just changing the style from these 4 windows into one sliding window, we saved 50%. So
wow, that's a lot of money.
Right, over 50%.
Okay.
So had we not made the choice here to take a little bit of time to really think through this particular project, we would have spent twice as much as we should have if we just said, well, how much is it?
Right,
to do this.
All right.
So it's a good idea to slow down a little bit and take a little time to kind of think it through and work with a consultant that's going to help you kind of like, all right, what if we did this? What if we did that? and these are our priorities, so you really come out with the right thing. The other thing they wanted to do is upgrade the interior moldings.
Okay.
So we're able to include a beautiful pre-finished interior casing package,
right,
so that the interior would be finished off perfectly.
Right.
Had we not done that,
right,
we would have had to use some, we'd had to retain some of that interior woodwork, we'd have had to add some piecing in some other parts.
It just wouldn't have looked as nice.
It would not have been a finished project.
Yeah.
But by being smart about the style choice, the glass pack, the whole thing put together, they were able to achieve exactly what they wanted and save money.
The savings of the money, I might mention too, they were able to replace basement windows.
That's correct.
Right? Rather than going with a glass block window, they had the old traditional wood windows that tilted down or up from the bottom in the basement.
Right.
And they wanted to upgrade those. And the homeowners' options are glass block windows, which are a little bit less expensive than putting in a replacement window. But because we're able to save money and economically make wise style changes in the home, we were able to upgrade and put replacement vinyl windows in the basement that we call hopper windows.
Right.
So that was an advantage. And it's really hard to say that we could have accomplished all of that over the phone or in the mail with a simple estimate. Right?
It's a common mistake that people make is, they fail to take that first step, and that first step is so critical to getting it right. Mm-hmm. And that is to meet with an expert who knows exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
That can advise that homeowner properly to figure out what the priorities are, configure the whole project to minimize the cost. That's
right
on
That's
everybody's
important.
mind,
That's
especially
absolutely.
Today.
Sure.
We want to minimize the cost, but we don't want to jeopardize the whole project by putting the wrong thing in. After all, these are permanent.
Right.
You put the windows in, you're
That's
done.
it. You've got one shot.
You got one shot to get it right. The worst thing you can do is put the wrong thing in and then hate it.
Regret.
Regret, and go, oh, I really should have done it this way.
Wish
and then
I
you
would've.
wasted all that money.
Yeah.
You want to get it right the first time. So our advice and our tip here is slow down. Have an expert come out, figure it out, help you figure it out, get the right configuration, figure out what your priorities are, right, Todd?
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter, Todd. Take this advice, whether you're looking at a roofing project, a siding project, could be entry doors, or maybe even gutters or gutter protection for your home. If you want to find out how much it is, do yourself a favor. Just go ahead and set up that consultation by filling out the form right here on our website.